All right, match number 3 coming up over here. We have Nick Kruml. He's going to start the match on lane 3, which means he'll finish first, and then he'll finish last. Grahm versus Nick Kruml. Grahm lost his second match, 2-0 to lose to 2-teen. Opened in the 9th and 10th to allow his opponent to double in the 10th to beat him. So Nick Kruml using a high road pearl. He switched to that late yesterday and saw some pretty good ball reaction out of it at the end. And I think he's pretty much been using it most of the day today. And it's another tall pin pearl. He's real roller. He can get it to roll through. Grahm currently using, he switched to the purple hammer to try to create some control. That was a great shot. That looked really good. Graham's used a lot of reactive this week. One of those balls being that kinetic, what is that, kinetic black ice. He used that quite a bit. Looked really good. There's another one of those balls. I mean, when he was in the reactive, though, he was firing it down there. He's kind of a little bit slower with this purple hammer now. Not as aggressive at the bottom. Got going left. And that one picked up fast. That one picked up early. That just looked to me like it was left off of his hand. Another difficult spare. Now Zeke, for those of you that were watching the last match, saw Zeke throw that ripcord in the fill, and he actually did opt to stay with that. He is starting the match on the pair to the right of us with that ripcord. We'll see how that looks throughout that match. That's a good spare there. It's a tough spare you don't want to shoot at this week. Scoreboard currently being updated after 2. Dombrowski stays your leader at plus 322. Kruml shoots a big game, gets to a plus 180. Mike Jasinski's in 3rd, plus 152. Zach Weidman in 3rd and 4th, plus 86. Chandler with that win you just saw bumps him up to 5th at plus 81. Grahm rounds out top 6 here in front of us at plus 56. Kruml up on the right lane, using that same high road pearl way left off his hand. Leaving the everyday typical 6'9". Zeke Bate to the right of us has hit the pocket twice, but he's left a flat 10 both times. Sometimes that's not necessarily a bad thing when their scores are like this. Now, this is a very choppable spare if you don't get the right angle at it. It's going to cover it easily. See what he does off of that horrific shot on the right lane. I can only imagine what he's saying to himself in his head. I know what I'd be saying to myself. Left lane, high road pearl. Better shot. That ball's really floating down there. It's not doing anything crazy, so this is one of those rare instances where you see a pearl bowling ball that's not really jumpy. So he's got the surface at something that is making that ball slow down right. It's not making it whippy. So Grahm up on the right lane. The match is all even if he strikes here. Very good shot. He seems to be lined up pretty good on that right lane. So kind of an adjustment he makes on the left lane. Leaving the 247 last time on that left lane. To me, like I said, I thought he got it a little bit to the left too fast, and it really stood up. Let's see what he can pull off here. Let's see if I can't get a little bit better view, see what he does. Might be inching his feet just a pinch to the right. It looks identical to the last one. It looked the same as what he threw on the right lane, and it just labored. So that's what's frustrating. You go and you make a move off of the 247, just leave a flat 7-pin afterwards. But again, scores are so low that makeable spares are key in these matches. I've seen firsthand how missed spares can affect matches. I was starting to think I was the black cloud for a minute, that people were just missing spares because my camera's set up here. We're still all square. Kruml can take a lead if he gets big double. Bait finally gets the 10 out on the right lane, or out to the pair to the right of us. He's got 9-spare strike. He is leading that match. His opponent, Dombrowski, tournament leader, has an open in the third frame, 44 in the third. That is a slow looping bowling ball right now, which seems to be the right choice. Even though that's not looking fancy, it's not looking powerful as far as high flush, throwing pins. It's getting the job done. It's controlling the pocket. Wiggle the camera if you keep kicking that. So big double there. Increases his lead. Three-bagger here is an even bigger lead. Should be in pretty good shape as he's liked his last few shots on this thing. See, even there, that one looked a little left of where the last few were, but because of how slow this bowling ball is down lane, how lopey it seems to be, it's actually holding in that part of the lane. So that's good. So he can get it a little to the right and it still picks up and swish strikes. Keeps it in like he just did and it still holds its line. So that's a really good ball reaction. Grahm shouldn't have any trouble on this lane. That looks a little bit right. Ooh, that held its spot though. That's good. So the question is, can Grahm get the 7-pin out? The tendency after those two shots on that left lane is to try to help it a little bit. No matter how good the bowler is, after you leave a flat corner pin, generally, subconsciously, your mind says you got to get the ball through the pins. You grab it a little bit more, try to make it pick up a little bit more. A lot of times that doesn't help. A lot of times that ends up going through the face. I got going left. He just threw a great shot. That's a big double right there. That's really good. So big double there in the 5th and 6th for Grahm. Keeps this a match pretty close. Put your feet down. Kruml up on the right lane. That is so he, as of right now, has the best ball reaction in the building. Because that was at least 3 or 4 left down lane from where his last one on that lane was. And they both struck. So he got a 3 or 4 to the right of that and it still struck. That's a pretty good ball reaction right there. Dombrowski riding the struggle bus over here a little bit on lanes 5 and 6, bowling against Z. He's finding himself in a little bit of a hole. He's got 2 opens in a row, and now he's shooting at a 6-pin. Kruml up on a 4-bagger. That one just scooted fast. That looked like it was just quick off his hand. Just a little too fast, and it just 2-8s. Generally, that's what does happen. You get a little quick off your hand because it either just fell off or you flat-handed it accidentally or something weird happens to where it just shoots it faster down lane. Usually at this level, it's not because you threw it harder. It's because your hand did something different. Made it scoot.
Doesn't help when you hit your ankle.
What's that?
Doesn't help when you hit your ankle.
Yeah, not good. That's not a spare you want to shoot at, so that makes things interesting. This spare's come back and bite you in the butt most times. So how Grahm can get up a 4-3 back and catch right back up in this match. Great shot there. Staying off the table, you're knocking it around. Grahm opting to take a re-rack here. Collect himself a little bit, knowing that that 3-bagger was big, but this 4-bagger is even bigger. Grahm sitting in 6th place at plus 56. He's lost a lot of pins these last couple of games. He's got to make up some ground, so these shots are huge. Very, very big. Got that one in the right direction. It's dead perfect. Dead perfect. It's a big 4-bagger there after a mistake by Kruml. I think still got 240 max out there, 246. Grahm still has 260. Still a close match here if Kruml can throw a couple of good ones. Got to push. Perfect. So it almost looks like he's trying to play that tighter angle and he's just thrown a couple out the window to the right that still hook. That's good news. But this goes to show you, even when you have the best ball reaction in the building, mistakes can hurt you. Mistakes can hurt you bad. This one's big. This one gets him back on track and makes this a really close match. Because Graham's going to get up and finish first. Gotta have this one. Very good shot. That's a clutch shot right there in the 9th. That puts a lot of pressure on Grahm to make sure he gets enough to try and shut out Nick. If he gets the next 2, it's over. Just gotta go. Good shot. It always tricks me. It always looks like it's standing up early, like it's gonna not hook, or like it's gonna hook early and keep going. But it wiggles. Alright, so while we're waiting for a new rack here, give a big shout out to Bill Burke and his folks here that own this bowling center, running this tournament every year. It's always one of the fun tournaments. Just a little 12-lane center, runs 2 squads, 60 bowlers max. We get 30 bowlers in each squad. But he fills it every year. Appreciate the sponsors, former State Bank here, Roto Grip. Alright, we got full rack up on 3. Graham's coming up. If he gets this one, he shuts him out. There's nothing that Nick can do. That was huge. That was an unbelievable shot right there. And you never would have thought this after watching his last couple of games where he bowled 2-0 and 140. You never would have thought that he would have been able to find a 260 type ball reaction, but he did. He pulled off 260 here, so he's going to get, well, at least 250 at this point. good count here. We could top that one a little bit. He got through there. It's a double there, so he's got 260 max here. That's an incredible game right there. That very well could have been 280 even if he got that flat 7 out in the fourth. Just that one hiccup in the second frame was really the only bad shot he threw. And this is what, I mean, Graham's been dominating this Central region the entire year. He's got 4 wins already this year. You know, so he's locked up Player of the Year essentially for the Central region. He's climbed his way back up. He's going to get 30 pins bonus. 30 pins bonus. That gives him plus 90, so that gets him all the way up to 146 over. Quite possibly, depending on what Jasinski's doing over there, could get him into... no, Jasinski's going to stay ahead of him, so that's going to at least bump him up to 4th. Kruml's not even on the board. Oh yeah, Kruml's 2nd right now, so Kruml could shoot 240. 240 is still huge. That's just the same as a win, basically. It's like shooting 210 with a win. And stone 9. That's brutal. That is brutal. So with a spare here, he's going to shoot 225. That's the same as 190 with a win. So not awful still. 220 is still a good game. When you're going to lose matches on low scoring paces like this, you want to do it with good games. If you roll 220 and lose, oh well. That's almost the same as, you know, bowling a typical score and winning.
Yeah, I was.
He's going to pull out the Idle Cosmos. Idle Cosmos by Rotogrip. See what that does a little bit different.
Yeah.
Is that the Hustle? Or that the Camel one? Yeah.
Seen it? I was rolling really good.
Yikes. That was a little bit of an overreaction.
Try the tropical surge all over.
Oh, you have one of those still? Yeah. Which color is it?
Purple.
Purple one?
When I threw on the show.
Okay. All right, so we got a winner, 260. Yeah. We got a winner here, 260 to 224. Grahm defeats Nick Kruml. That was game 3 of Matchplay. 5 more to go, folks. This is J.R. Raymond calling the action here at the PBA Farmers State Bank Rotogrip Open here in Angola, Indiana. Match number 4 coming up. Stay tuned.